sign. We are, of course, talking about the domestic market. We are very excited to start receiving our international guests, but we'll see how things will go. Of course, we had to do many adjustments. We have this protocol. We are adopting these national and international guidelines in terms of safety. We have the Clean and Safe certificate. And the latest news I would like to share with you is that we also opened our beach club at Carvalhal Beach, which is less than 10 minutes from the hotel by car. And here we have a restaurant, we have a bar, and it's a very, very nice place to visit for everyone who are in the Comporta area. I'm not sure if I was very quick or if the 3 minutes are gone, but just to let you know that if you have any question regarding Blueshift or Sublime Comporta, here you have my contacts, and just feel free to get in touch. Okay, thank you very much. Arnold?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much, Sara. I will be sharing the presentation afterwards, so everybody will have the contacts. Now we should have Emma, but I'm not sure she's there. I cannot see her. Emma, if you are there, can you say something? No, I don't think she's there. Okay, so we'll go with Vinny. Vinny will talk to us about grid finance, but Vinny also has his own software company and is based in Obidos, which, for people who don't know, is north of Lisbon. Okay.
Hi, Arnold. How are you? Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, very well. You have a presentation as well, I think.
Yeah, I'm just going to get it shared screen with you now.
Your hair's not getting any longer in lockdown, Vinny.
You know what my daughter said to me 2 days ago? She said, "Daddy, why do you cut your hair in this shape?" It's not getting any better. Okay, so my name is Vinny Reynolds. I work with a company here called Grid Finance. We're an Irish finance company, but we have offices in Dublin, Limerick, and in Portugal. And I lead out the technology division, which is the largest division of the company. And as Arnold said, we're based in Obidos, Portugal. And what we do is we're a finance company that provides flexible finance to small Irish businesses. So actually, we're dedicated to the retail, hospitality, and service sectors. So it would be hard to find any more sectors that are any more exposed than to COVID-19 than we are right now, with the possible exception of that gentleman from the airline industry. But we're battling on. And what we do is we basically help small businesses get access to finance in a sector that has been traditionally under-resourced or underfunded by the pillar banks in Ireland. So, and we do that through, I suppose, excellence in customer service and excellence in kind of ease of access to funding. We do this primarily through technology. So we have a very automated lending platform that kind of underpins our business, which provides some automated credit decisioning based on some our own kind of technology. We have a platform that allows lenders to lend to customers directly, and we manage our loan book entirely through our own platform. This is something that we've been building out from Portugal for the last number of years. This gives us a kind of strategic advantage in terms of, because everything is online, we're able to process all of our loan applications. Our customers are able to manage their own business products, their lending products, and manage their loans online. So the need for having to deal with your local bank manager or having to wait 7 or 8 weeks to kind of get a no, a slow no, or being able to draw down funding or complete loan documentation, all of that is completed on platform. And that gives us a real advantage over our competitors and the traditional banks. We work with, so we're fairly well established. We have processed over $500 million in credit card payments through our platform in the last 3 years. We facilitated the lending of over 30 million in lending capital to our customers in that time. We have partnerships with the Small Firms Association Ireland, Restaurants Association Ireland, Retail Excellence Ireland. We have a number of partnerships with some people who provide certain components of the technology of our platform, but most of that technology is our own. And we have lending partnerships with lending providers who provide the funds that go through that we deploy to our platform. And that's not necessarily, there are Irish lenders in there, but also US and European lenders. Yeah, and so where are we right now? Like, it's a challenging time, obviously, for our business, challenging time for the sectors that we serve, but we're as well placed as anybody to come through it, given our focus on being a completely online lending platform. And yeah, we have a presence in Dublin, Limerick, and in Portugal. And the presence that we have in Portugal is the quickest growing of those. So we've been established down here for about 4 or 5 years now. Obviously, for those who don't know, as Arnold said, is about an hour north of Lisbon. And yeah, so we're just, in terms of our work with the IPBN, so we only joined relatively recently, although we've been down here for a number of years, but we're very happy to meet with anybody who's working in the finance, the technology sectors, or the particular industries that we're targeting, which is the retail, service and hospitality industries. At the moment, we're only serving Irish customers, but we are in kind of active moves to move into other European markets over the next 18 months. That's it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Is John now from Salmon Software?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah.
Are you? Where are you, John? Are you in Ireland?
No, I'm in Dublin. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I'm going nowhere by the looks of things for the moment. So I'll just share my screen with you. If you can, can you see that? Sorry, that's my address. You don't want that. Can you see that? Yeah.
Yeah. If you could share it full screen. Yeah.
Can you see it now?
No, that's still with your notes.
Okay, well, let's run the slide.
I think if you, we can go like this, but it's not.
Can you see? Well, it's slipping into a different mode.
If you go on the top, John,
yeah,
where you have the.
No, I have the slideshow running here now, so but it's not coming up full screen for you, I don't think. Can you see it now?
No, it's still not full screen.
Okay.
You can still read it though, Arnold.
Yeah, just.
Yeah.
We'll do it like that. It's fine.
Well, what I'll do is I'll just go back to this one. It's easier. So I'll just flip through the slides. So, okay, Salmon Software. We are a company that was established by me. I'm the founder and CEO in 1985. So we've been around for a very long time, 35 years. And we specialize in treasury management software. It's high-end software aimed mainly at large corporates, basically to handle their all aspects of their funding and their finance in the area of treasury. So we have been doing this for a very long time. There's only 4 companies in the world who actually do this, and we're one of those 4, and we're the smallest of them, and we're the only one in Ireland that actually does this. Just while I'm here, I'll introduce Erica Borges, who's our representative in Portugal at the moment, and hence our interest in that region. Erica's worked for us for a number of years in Brazil and has moved to Portugal, so she's representing us there now. So that gave us the opportunity to try and move into that particular arena. So I'll flick through the rest of the slides here now. I haven't done that introduction. We've had a couple of industry awards for the software that we provide, which is always good. The areas we work in, all financial markets, from cash markets to money markets, foreign exchange, debt and derivatives. You've probably heard these terms before: trade finance, credit facilities, and a whole raft of other particular financial instruments. Functionality we offer is cash management, limits monitoring, intercompany position keeping, electronic payments, forecasting, risk management, and others. Some of you might be familiar with this particular area, some of you may not be. It's primarily, as I said, aimed at the larger corporates. This is just a kind of a further explanation for later on when you get to slide to explain those particular areas in a little bit more detail, but it covers most of them there. So we integrate then with pretty much everything that moves in the market. That includes all the various banks, from Citibank to JP Morgan to Barclays, all the trading platforms. If you're familiar with this arena, you'll be familiar with these, which is 360T, FXall, FXGo, which is offered by Bloomberg's, and all the market providers from Bloomberg to Refinitiv, who used to be called Reuters, they're called Refinitiv now. Pretty much every ERP system, from SAP to Oracle to Sun, Coda, and various others. And we also have regulatory compliance software, which links into the derivatives repositories, which are now obligatory in relation to what's called off-balance sheet items, which is effectively derivatives. And the 2 main repositories here are RegistTR and DTCC, so we also integrate with those. We offer pretty much very effective cash management by linking to the banks, so you get all your bank statement information in real time from around the globe. So while you're asleep in bed, you come in the morning, everything in relation to your bank accounts, your transactions and your balances and multi-currencies, the various jurisdictions it's in, the entities it belongs to, and the countries that it's residing in. It gives you lots of information in kind of nice dashboard type formats to tell you how risky it is, what the foreign exchange impact on it is, and how much access you actually have to it. So we do a lot of that stuff pretty much automated, and that facilitates the decision making. Then, having established what your cash position, you can then move into the arena of trading your way out of those cash positions into new cash positions. So that's what the connectivity does for you. So we also have, for those of you, again, if you're familiar with what we call cash pooling, notional pooling and physical pooling, and ZBA sweeps. Essentially what that means is that the banks will treat your collective set of balances as a pool and treat them as one account, and they'll calculate interest based on that. Sometimes it's called physical, which means the money's moved between the accounts, and sometimes it's called notional, which means it doesn't move between the accounts, but the balances are grossed up collectively anyway. So again, all that information is brought together in various sophisticated dashboards and presentation styles and so on. So this is the type of stuff that you get if you're a user of Salmon, and it's the type of information that's kind of better in pictures than it is in tabular format, but it's very effective. And a lot of companies now have adopted what we call the traffic light system for alerts in relation to where their cash is, where the money is, how risky it is, anything that needs to be done to alleviate either risk or foreign exchange exposure, and so on. So they have green for go, which is good, orange for something needs to be done, and red for alerts in relation to high levels of risk that they may not want to take on board. again, just some further different types of presentation styles that we provide for various clients. Just flicking down through a few of these here. I won't labor all these. You'll get them in the presentation style, or the presentation that Arnold will send out to you later on. We have a lot of library reports to cover things like risk, foreign exchange exposure, sensitivity to interest rate movements, valuation trends and yield curves and all that. It's pretty sophisticated stuff at the high level end of corporate treasury. There's a couple of testimonials here as well from the likes of Segros, one of our clients. There's a few more of them: Airbus, DP World, Serco, Plan, which is a global charity. And finally, a bigger list is, though that's kind of a broader list of who we target. So you can see there's a lot of different businesses in there, from ports to aircrafts, leasing to airlines to conglomerates, manufacturing, electronics, finance, etc., etc. So what we're doing in Portugal is trying to extend our wares. The market is pretty poorly served over there from suppliers. We don't believe anybody has a presence there. And our aim is to target the top 50 companies, either directly or with the help of anybody in IPBN, either as on a commercial basis or a friendly basis, or whatever is appropriate that facilitates us getting in the door there. And I'm sure there's a lot of fairly big companies over there who could avail of the software. As I said, the market's not particularly well served over there, if at all. So we'd welcome any feedback from any quarter in relation to that. And Eric would be glad to talk to you in Portuguese, and I'd be happy to talk to you in English. So that's it. Salmon Software is the name of the company. And my name is John Byrne. I'm the CEO and founder. And that's the end of the presentation. Sorry about the slides.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much, John.
Thanks,
I think
John.
there is a lots of synergy with our members, so hopefully we can also help you to get in touch with companies here in Portugal. Okay, so we've got two more presentations, and the next one is Deirdre from Kuldea, but I think I can say that you have rebranded yourself as youfurnish.com. Deirdre?
Yes, indeed, that is correct.
Do you want to share your?
1 second, John. We need to just stop sharing your screen.
I'm actually trying to do that now as we speak. My control button's gone. I'll tell you what I just.
Let me see if I click share, maybe it overrules you. Does that work?
What I'll do is I'll bow out and come back in.
Yeah, maybe I can stop it here. No, I cannot do anything.
John, I think it is minimized. The window is minimized. Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good now. We can see your presentation then.
You can, perfect.
Yeah, we can.
Super. So, hello everybody. My name is Deirdre Mc Gettrick. I am the founder and the CEO of a company that, well, at the moment, it's still called Kuldea. Kuldea was a name based on my cool idea, but nobody can say it or spell it. So henceforth, we're going to be known as youfurnish.com. So you are the very select group of people who are getting an initial look at our new branding and our new logos. So what is youfurnish.com? It's a bit of it does what it says in the tin name, but we are an innovative technology company that has built an online search and discovery engine for furniture. So everything about furniture. And the business was all inspired from my own experience trying to furnish our first home. I founded the business with my partner and fiance. We're getting married actually next Monday in Ireland. So we're in self-isolation, having traveled from the UK. We are based in the UK, despite broadcasting from Ireland today. And I'll cover the link to Portugal on the next slide. But the background is that I really struggled to find all these nice furniture items that I was seeing on Pinterest or Instagram when you're out and about in a hotel or a restaurant, things that you know you really, really want, but actually sourcing it was very disjointed to that inspiration stage. So you're typically going on to Google, you're looking for the item, but you're only ever finding a small subsection of the market, and that product that you really, really wanted, you can't find. So the way that we describe youfurnish.com is quite similar to solutions that you'll see in other sectors. So you probably have heard of Skyscanner that you use to search for all of your flights, booking.com for hotels, and it's the equivalent of real estate using myhome.ie or a Zoopla and Rightmove in the UK. So it's important to state that we're not actually a furniture retailer, we're just a search engine that brings all of the retailers and all of their products onto one website so that consumers can easily search across the entire market in one place. Then we actually click the consumer through to the furniture retailer where they complete the purchase, payment, returns, any of those items. So exactly like how you might use Skyscanner, you see the flight that you want, it's a BA flight, you actually click out onto the BA website and your purchase is with them. So this is the team. So there's myself and my co-founder, Ray, and then we have our CTO, Dimitar, and Dimitar is actually based down in Lisbon. So we met Dimitar back in January, and he started officially with us in March. And he has built a team of 4 engineers alongside himself down in Lisbon. And we will be spending half of our time in Lisbon and half in London. So that's very much the driver behind joining the IPBN and getting involved in the network. So what we do, it's really simple. 90% of people start their furniture search online. And if you're not one of the big retailers that come up on Google, so typically it's Wayfair, Made, John Lewis, if you're one of the smaller retailers, how do you get in front of that 90% that are starting online? And if you're not in front of those consumers, you're not making sales. And if you're not making sales, you're probably going to go out of business. And COVID has really actually accelerated that desire to switch from retail, from footfall reliant stores to what is my digital presence. And we've seen 1 or 2 businesses in the UK already, some of our partners like Lombok and Laura Ashley, unfortunately, go into demise. So the switch to online is even more accelerated, and we've had a massive increase in furniture retailers reaching out to us to actually come on our platform, given that that's where consumers are. And there's a real disjointed sort of, it's nearly an unfair advantage of the big guys that have got big marketing budgets, but there's over 950 retailers in the UK. If I asked you to name probably more than 10 furniture retailers in your home market, you'd probably struggle to even get to the 10. And you know the brands, you've heard of them, you know, whether it's Furniture Village or Habitat, but to actually recall them whilst you're doing your search is really hard. And then of course, there's a whole other section of retailers that you would have never heard of, never thought to search. And they're typically the ones that people want to search, especially, not to stereotype us, but women, because it's an emotive purchase for the home. And it's nice to sort of find something that's a little bit unique, or that you found from a retailer that, you know, manufactures locally, has sustainability elements, whatever it is, you sort of want to find a unique find rather than purchasing something from Made that all your friends might have. So we bring the whole market onto one website. In terms of how we operate, we're free to use for consumers. It's also free for retailers to list their products on our website, and then we charge them a commission based on any traffic that we send them that converts into a sale. We are the baby business so far of the group of presentations. We launched our MVP, Minimal Viable Product website, in February of last year. That was really after leaving our jobs thinking, actually, is there a business here? Will it commercially be viable to set up this business? And since then, we've signed over 100 retail partners, including the big guys like John Lewis and Made and Wayfair, right down to that middle range, so Cox and Cox and your SCSs, and right down to the really small guys that you mightn't have heard of, like Cuckoo Land. We've over 500,000 products on the website, and we've been revenue generating pretty much since we launched, which is really good. And in February of this year, we completed our seed investment round of 1.8 million. So I suppose with that money, what we've been doing is hiring out the team, which I've already mentioned, everybody down in Lisbon, and building a new platform that is built for scale, because the MVP was self-funded, so it wasn't quite up to the challenge of all of the money we're going to spend on marketing and all of the traffic. So the youfurnish.com brand and new platform That's forecast to launch in the next 2 weeks. So we're really close. We've been working on that for the last 6 months. So that's very, very exciting. So I suppose the whole point of today is how can we help each other? The first thing is how can I help you? There might be something that I've triggered if you need introductions to some furniture retailers, if you want introductions to different people in London, if you want to know about how we raised our finance or how we went about that, very happy to share any knowledge that we've built up or any connections. Please join me on LinkedIn and see if there's anyone within my network that you'd like to speak to. I'll admit I don't know them all, but I do accept everybody because it's good that they'll learn about my business. And in terms of what I'm looking for today, I really just want to meet you all and get connected. You know, we're going to start flying down to Lisbon. We'll be down in actually 2 weeks' time. So I'm hoping we won't have to self-isolate all over again from Ireland. But I want to get to know people. I love meeting people and getting introduced into your broader networks as well. In terms of what we will be doing down in Lisbon, there's going to be a lot of future hires, especially in the engineering team. We're looking for a product owner as we move into the second half of the year, UX, UI designer, and also some support people. So if you know great people who are looking to join sort of an innovative, fast growth company, please send them our way. We're always grateful for any introductions. And of course, we're looking for press because we need to get our brand out to market. So this is predominantly in the UK. Although we do have international expansion plans starting in 2021, so next year. And if you do know of future financing people, we're going to be going out raising our Series A to really turbocharge our growth, probably around Q4. So if you're an investor or you have links into a VC, or of course you're speaking to different people later on and we pop into your head, just putting it on your radar that we could speak. And that's everything on my side. Thank you for your time.
Great, excellent. Thank you, Deirdre. And actually, we have a PR agency from a journalist who we can introduce you to on that side. And then also, you are doing some podcasts, and I think today or tomorrow you have one about real estate, how to prepare the house for sale.
Yes.
Yes, correct?
I have launched a podcast with an Irish interior and furniture designer called Audrey Whelan. And in tomorrow's episode that's scheduled to be released, we're actually interviewing Russell Quirk. Some of you may have heard of a business called eMove. They were an online estate agent in the UK. He actually bought Rebelo, which was owned by Sara. You might know her from the TV. It was sort of the first before Purple Bricks. And he had raised millions in millions in investment before the company fell into administration. Really interesting guy, but ultimately at the heart of it, he's an estate agent and he's been selling houses for years. So he told us all the interesting stories around some of the interesting things he's seen in houses, but also what you can do to help get your house ready for sale, the easy wins.
So that should be interesting for our real estate members. Okay, so now last but not least, Indresh.
Hi.
VMotions IT School.
Can you hear me?
There is a bit of echo. But
can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, just having problem with connection, but
no, I think it's fine. You have a
fine, yeah.
You have a presentation as well, I think?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no. Doesn't have to.
Okay, so hello, everybody. My name is Indresh. I'm the Managing Director and CEO of company VMotions IT Solutions. I'm going to share my presentation one moment. Okay. Can everybody see the screen? Hello?
Yeah, we can see it, but yeah, okay.
Hi.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Indresh. I'm CEO and Managing Director of the company. Michael Slattery, he's our technology manager. He's also here. And so VMotion has been specialized, and we are providing managed hosted solutions and software consulting since 2010. And we are official partner here for company Atlassian, Acronis, and Acronis data backup and security. Front Microsoft, Citrix, and VMware in Ireland. So, so our core expertise and what we deliver are software configuration, implementation, support services, and e-commerce. And we also provide fully managed hosted solutions for companies who want us to manage their enterprise applications and infrastructure. Our infrastructure is located in core data center, CIX core data center in Ireland. And the core expertise of our business includes learning management platform, service desk, data backup, cybersecurity, DevOps, and collaboration applications solutions. And we also build public and private cloud or virtualization applications migration from on-premise to cloud platform. Okay, a few of our customers, they are very well-known companies in Ireland, and some government sectors, departments are also our client. And so we also provide our online web e-commerce technical support services to large group of SME clients globally who are based in UK, Ireland, and some of them are from west of Europe. A few of them are our just customers. We are working with them. So, okay. So here the list of services we offer to businesses. They are e-commerce, web development, domain registrations, web hosting services, web and data backup, data security, Office 365 solutions, email hosting, and learning management platform, and service desk. So this is a very small presentation, and so just so what we do and who we are, and if any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Hi, Indresh. Yeah, a couple of the others have done this, so I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Is what do you think that the network, or what would you like the network members to be able to do for you, or do you want them to do anything at all?
Okay, very good question. So as we understand that we are a community and we try to help each other in whichever we can to grow our businesses, because we are, just before my presentation, Deirdre presented very interesting the business and the idea behind it, and is somewhere in some way or somehow, if we can help her, I'd be happy to help. And because I know that the business, the idea behind the idea Deirdre presented, it's a very exciting idea, and to reach this idea, to be successful, and so she can get more success as an IT company, as a technology company. We understand what, from a technology point of view, what we can do and how we can help her to achieve her goal, you know. So this is something I'm we can help each other, of course, and especially furniture. So she's right that 90% people are at the moment, the current situations, we are browsing online and somehow connect to good company who have more options, more choices to find what we want.
Great. But, Deirdre, I'll let you connect with Indresh on your own later on. Probably don't need all of us involved in that discussion. But Sara, I just wanted to go back to you for a second too, because you didn't say what way you hoped the network members could help you. And I also had a question myself, which is, do you do any sort of corporate or group hosting, or is it all very much private functions?
Yes, thank you. So my intention was to present you the hotel for your personal but also professional context, because we also have the meeting rooms. I'm also discussing with Arnold a protocol so all members can have benefits at the hotel. So discounts and these kind of things, but when it will be done, Arnold will share the information. But of course, if you have I don't know, maybe for leisure, but also in terms of in a corporate way, if you need to know a quote for a meeting room, or if you have this big event we would like to make for your company, just remember us and we'll see the best we can offer you.
And Sara, just also, I mean, you're speaking on behalf of Blueshift. You're acting as the operating company at the moment, not the owner per se, is it?
So I work at Blueshift, as I explained, but I'm more focused in this specific project. So I'm kind of the sales manager at Sublime Comparta. That's why I'm talking this way.
Yeah, great. And John, can I go back to you for a second, just to say, you mentioned the top 100 clients that you were looking for in the Portuguese market. And Erica, I know you're there too. I can see you on the call. Typically, what kind of introductions do you need, John, on those?
Well, our target audience, if you like, is the corporate treasurer at each of these major corporations. Most of our clients have a very high turnover in terms of monetary value. So it's only large companies who will actually use, well, small companies would use it, but they won't pay for it. So it's primarily large corporates who actually are our target market. And so that's typically a corporate treasurer, which is usually using the same function as the CFO, or sometimes a step below the CFO, but they're the guys we're after. Just to give you, I showed you an image there of the clients that we have. They're all major international companies, a lot of them household names. And just in relation to when I logged in first, you were speaking to, he's labeled as Orla Joyce, but I'm sure it's not Orla Joyce. Who was that gentleman you were talking to at the very outset? He's online as Orla, the air traffic controller. You can see him there as Orla Joyce. But anyway, a lot of our clients are in the airline business. We have Ryanair, we've Avalon, we have Oryx Aviation. Your brother works in SMBC, I think you said, which is another aircraft leasing company. We have DAE and so on. So we have a number of Airbus as another customer of Salmon. So I'd be very interested in exploring that further, since he has airline experience. I'm sure he's got a lot of contacts in that particular sector, because we have a lot of clients in that particular sector. But we're not sector specific. We have clients in manufacturing, in food, in electronics, in hospitality, in finance, and so on. So, but because of the nature of what we do, it's aimed directly at the very large corporates. I mean, they would be our primary targets. So through the network, if anybody can introduce us to the CFO or the corporate treasurers, we'd be delighted to talk to them. And, this is a network, a kind of a friendly network. but we're also interested in partnerships or other kind of formal or informal arrangements. And we're fairly confident that there's nobody in that market in Portugal or Spain, indeed, or very few anyway. The main players are in the bigger markets like the US, the UK, and so on.
Great, thanks, John. Vinny, you kind of rushed through your ideal clients at the end there, and you kind of didn't say whether you wanted to go into Portugal. And I mean, you said you were going to launch a little bit more in the next 18 months in Europe. Can you tell us a tiny bit more about that and how we in the network can help you?
Sure. So at the moment, we only facilitate lending to Irish businesses, and basically we want to grow out the markets that we're lending to. Now, before we do that, we need to, it's like we're not at the stage yet where we need to be introduced to potential customers. And really, like, we're 6 to 12 months away from setting up kind of partnerships with the relevant important sectors inside, and those that would be like kind of representative bodies. So whatever the Portuguese equivalent of the Restaurants Association of Ireland would be, or the Retail Excellence Ireland, so, or the Hotel Industry Federation. So we don't have, at the moment, like, we don't have like a specific need. We are talking to a couple of the Portuguese banks about how we might be able to work together. We're talking to them about some of the credit agencies here. So we have a kind of a number of technologies that underpin, I suppose, what we do, and we need to work with those guys first. But it would be people who are kind of working in the, I suppose, this kind of businesses that are technology-driven businesses that are based in Portugal, that would be working kind of in the fintech sector. So it's fairly early stage. Like, we're not kind of at the stage yet where we're kind of really, like, we're just building relationships, I suppose, at the moment in new markets. So I didn't want to kind of make a kind of a fairly big request or anything kind of specific, because it's quite broad. But yeah, anybody who's working in the fintech space or the software space, particularly in the industries that we're targeting, that would be very interesting to talk to them.
Be recruitment, would it?
No, not necessarily, but just like they're hopefully people understand that the type of industries that we work with, or the type of sectors that we try to deal with, and so we want to kind of just build relationships with those kind of people in advance. So that's people who are working in the services sector, hospitality sector, retail sector, and anybody who's working kind of in the fintech space.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Thanks, Vinny. And Deirdre, can I switch to you then? You have a really interesting, I think every woman on the call, and probably quite a few of the men, are going, oh, furniture, excellent. I've been looking at this for 3 months now and I'm fed up with it. Have you any plans to launch the service? I presume it's only operating in the UK at the moment, or is it operating in the UK and Ireland, and have you plans to do it in Portugal, or is it just going to be that you will do the tech from Portugal and still maintain it just in the UK?
Yeah, great question. We've had loads of people down in Portugal tell us to bring it down there immediately, and all of my Irish friends are like, when is it coming to Ireland? And I hate stereotyping women into a box, but unfortunately we get a much better reception when we tell females about it, although I do try and tell the men, send this to your missus, although I think they're afraid of the cost element. But anyways, we'll work on that bit. Yes, the nice thing about our business is that once you build the technology, you can actually up and lift it and put it into other markets. And then what you need to do is you need to sign the retailers and spend money on your brand to get it known throughout that region. So what we're very much looking on is, finalizing the tech stack. The UK is our first market. We don't want to do international expansion too quick before we fully embedded our foundation within the UK. So that's very much the plan for 2020 and the rest of this year. I think it'll be very easy to move into Ireland because a lot of the furniture retailers already operate there, or they're operating in Northern Ireland and they do the transport down. So I think that will make sense to be the next market. But yeah, after that, I think, we very much look at Portugal as probably the third market, and further beyond, we very much have our sights set on the US and Canada. My other half was actually working in the States when we were thinking about this idea and brainstorming about it. And he spent a week over there, and he rang me one Sunday and said, I've been speaking to all the guys, all the gals in the office, and they all do the same thing. They find something that they want on Pinterest, but they're going on to Google in and out of every individual furniture retailer after furniture retailer, re-entering your search criteria to try and find that product and apply your filter. And when you're being specific, it's really frustrating, because if I'm looking for a blue velvet 3-seater sofa bed, how many does a single retailer have? So you go to all that effort to have 2 or 3 presented to you, but yet they're not the right ones. So you have to restart it. And that was really the catalyst, that he came back and he quit his job the very next day. And yeah, we've sort of taken it from there. But, you know, we very much see the solution as solving a problem that exists. And it's not only for consumers. We were probably inspired to start the business from the consumer angle, but actually, given how much retail is struggling, it's like you're creating a level playing field and you're giving a voice, particularly to the smaller ones that are struggling to compete. And of course, consumers want to see the small ones as well as the big ones. So this is very much a solution that we think we can take international. And we have our sights set probably first on Ireland, but then, yeah, definitely beyond that, the world's our oyster, as they say.
Great. Well, I think it's really exciting. Guys, I'm going to hand over to everybody else because it's your networking event. And if you could just call out somebody's name if you want them to talk to you, that would be great. And does anybody want to start a question? Does anyone have questions for anyone?
Actually, I have, if you don't mind, I have a question for Vinny, because I saw on LinkedIn during the COVID, the confinement, I saw a lot of information from Great Finance in Ireland, who were, I think, in a campaign with the government trying to support the SME in Ireland. And, you know, I was a bit interested to know what if you can say something about that. And if in Portugal, I'm not aware of a campaign like that to support really the small and medium-sized companies, and what has been the results and where you are with that campaign in Ireland.
Sure. I could just share screen on it really fast. Yeah, so Derek Butler, who's the CEO of our company, so essentially we set up an initiative called the SME Recovery Plan, which is a National Small Business Recovery Plan. We brought together a number of bodies, the Restaurant Association, Retail Excellence Ireland, Hotel Federation. You can see whoever's involved in there in the About section. And we essentially set out kind of a manifesto, I suppose, or a proposal for how the recovery, how we thought the Irish government should best tackle the SME recovery in the current crisis. So it's been, well, we got a huge amount of airtime on it. It's been quite successful. Like, it hasn't been, we got it into discussions for some of the program for government. I can't say a lot more about it, but it's kind of going on in those discussions. It's chaired by John Moran, who's the former Secretary of the Department, former Secretary General of the Department of Finance. And yeah, I mean, we've got a huge amount of traction with it. So we've had, John has been speaking on our behalf in a lot of the radio shows, the TV shows, some of the bigger ones, the nightly shows, and yeah. So I suppose we're taking the lead in advocating for the support that the government needs to do for small businesses. If you're not aware, in Ireland, and it's the same here. Lots of talk, but not so much concrete action for small businesses. So if you're a restaurant owner or a hotel owner in Ireland, you're in big trouble. And of course, we're opening up on lockdown, but there's a lot of cash flow problems and a lot of businesses aren't going to make it out of it. So we're doing our best to try to push the government, with the backing of the major players in Ireland, to push the government to move in a certain direction at a certain speed. And that's it.
Okay, yeah, great, thanks.
Does anybody else have any questions for anybody?
Yeah, I'll jump in if you don't mind.
Yeah,
I'm John. I'm over in Dublin. I'm a very
never short of a question, John.
quiet and retiring sort of person. Yeah, just Sarah. Like I do a little blog and a website on Lisbon. It's called the Little Book of Lisbon. It's only really something I do out of an interest, but I've been doing it for a few years. And it's been great. It's been growing, and I add to it all the time. But I've written a few articles recently on Lisbon and travel. You can, if you link in with me, you'll see them on LinkedIn and on the website. And I've been reading a lot about, and I've been very impressed actually with Portuguese tourist board with visit Portugal, visit Lisbon, and this clean and safe sort of seal of approval that they've come out with, and they seem to be Portuguese tourism seem to be first out of the blocks in Europe. You know, I've seen them on Sky News, the Minister for Tourism interviewed on Sky News on several occasions, on the BBC in the UK, and they're pushing this clean and safe seal of approval. Has it helped you? How the tourist board, does the World Travel Centre also as well, I think, awarded another seal recently as well, as the first country in Europe to get that seal as well.
Hi, John.
Hey.
You were talking with me, right? No.
Yeah.
Yes, it was helpful because the Portuguese Tourism Board organized this major campaign internationally. So of course this is a marketing campaign, but it really helped properties to start thinking about procedures, adjustments. So they help with specific guidelines. But in this case, for Sublime Comporta, we did a mix of guidelines and procedures based also in international guidelines. But of course, it was helpful. And when I'm talking with potential partners from international markets, that's one of the questions they ask, is like, oh, do you have the safe and clean certificate? So I believe it was very useful. It helped all the properties, like a first next step after being closed for the past months. And of course, with those guidelines, helps businesses and hotels to organize their own protocols. For example, we have a specific protocol when we explain the specific measures and procedures for each department. So employees, but also clients, partners, they can know exactly what we are doing in that specific area.
Yeah, and your hotel, I was browsing as well as on the net as you were talking as well. It seems like you have a really great USP there, because it's there's a lot of space. You can see the village. You know, you're on what, 17 acres, I think you said, and you know, is that surely is going to help you.
Yes, for the reopening, we focused a lot on the villas, so people have this private place. We offer the check-in and check-out in the villa. They could order breakfast in the villa. If they wanted to be independent and avoid the common areas, they could. But I can also tell you that so far, and we are open since the 1st of June, we are not having that anymore, because people are more, I don't know, relaxed. So also the other options, the standard ones, are having a good response from the Portuguese or domestic market, let's say like this. But of course, for example, for breakfast, we have 3 different shifts. We had to do a lot of adjustments to guarantee that everyone keeps safe and relaxed.
Great, well done. Thanks for that. Cheers.
Thank you, John.
Great. Has anybody else any questions for any of the presenters today? No? No.
looks like. No.
The quiet bunch today.
Yeah.
I don't really have a question. I just wanted to say it was very nice to meet everybody, and just to thank Aoife and Arnold again for all their hard work in bringing us all together and having the opportunity to share. I think in my head I'm going to the hotel, and the other part of me is going, oh, I have to go and have a look at this wonderful online shopping furniture. So lots of wonderful ideas. And I think, is today the last one, Aoife, for the summer?
This is we are going to have the one that was scheduled for Friday morning has been postponed for a week or two because they weren't able to turn up. So that's it after that for events for a few weeks, because we all need a holiday. I know we're ramping up their season now, and unfortunately after COVID it's been a very slow start for them, but you know, they're off and out of the starting blocks. They don't want to be coming to these meetings, we hope.
Yeah, but I have to say it's been a great experience and a great way of being able to stay connected and to be able to network. So well done to both of you for all the hard work.
Yeah, I think, you know, we all know that online is not the same that face to face, but what the webinar, what the online meetings like this one have able to do is to have people from Ireland participating more, because, you know, most of our events were in Portugal, so that's great. I think today there were a majority of people from Ireland, which is great. And also, sorry, we still have one conversation about traveling with the Faro airport on next Tuesday, which should be interesting for people thinking to come to Portugal during the summer.
Yeah, just on that, funny enough, I'm traveling out on the 20th of July, and but up until the 19th of July, Aer Lingus have cancelled all their flights. I had friends who were meant to be going out prior to that, so evidently from the 19th of July, if you want to go on Aer Lingus, it's open from the 19th. I just happened to sneak in on the dates. Yeah, but it's interesting.
I was actually looking at flights to come down on the 5th of July, and I think Ryanair are offering one flight a day. I'm not sure. Does anybody actually know? Is there the 2-week self-isolation rule, or I know
not here.
It was in the news.
Not here. Not in Portugal. Not in Portugal.
Yeah, it was in the news today. There's a lot of news around it today in the Irish Times, Irish Examiner. I read a couple of articles. So there's a steering group on tourism, a government-led steering group on tourism, and they've advised that the quarantine period be relaxed on the 1st of July. So that's good.
In Ireland.
In Ireland, yeah. They've advised it. It hasn't been taken up yet, but they've advised it. I think the official date is the 9th of July.
But from Ireland to Portugal, there's no self-isolation.
No. Everybody's waiting in Portugal are waiting for you to come here and spend your money.
They welcome everybody.
Just don't come in large groups.
It's been great to meet you all over this thing, and we will see you again in September when we get going again. We have 2 more events, the Managing Director of Faro Airport, which will be run by Sharon Farrell down in the Algarve on Tuesday week, and then we'll have to come back to you about what date the conversation with the CEO from Pfizer is, which will be an interesting one for anyone with an interest in healthcare as they move into digital health and digital wellness and telemedicine. So that should be interesting. I'm just not too sure what the date is of it just yet. But thank you all for your attendance. It's been great to have you along with us. And do stay in touch with myself or Arnold over the next few weeks. If there's any introductions that you want, or if you want to reach out and connect to anybody and you think we can help, please let us know. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you. And I look forward to continuing our mission to increase trade between Ireland and Portugal. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Stay safe.
Yeah.